who like showed how it was like exactly 9 months later after Trump was elected, because Edom, you know how it symbolizes the West.
Yeah,
so
sure.
It was like 9 months after Trump was elected.
No,
when all these hostages were.
And what's the rest? What's the ending?
Oh yeah, I think that was my dad.
I know this year that is Robert.
No, I think it was that it's in the days of Mashiach. Like that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah. What do you think that the entire conversation of the world today is Jews, Israel, Zionism, like the whole world?
Are we on the lowest level?
Do you see like?
Are we on the lowest level? That's why Mashiach is coming?
Because no, the only other reason why Mashiach will come is because we're all perfect and amazing and we deserve it. But we don't deserve it because there's so much hatred. So the only other reason why Mashiach will come is because we're so low.
How does this work?
That's so bad. Guys, we are the lowest of lows.
What's the hate?
I think every single one of us is like the Noah.
We're not the lowest of the lows. But I'm saying like our generation is the lowest of the lows.
And look at where we are.
I don't think it's the Jews here. I think it's the entire world.
Yeah, our generation.
Right? It's the entire world.
Bad.
We haven't reached our potential yet. I wouldn't say we're the lowest of the lows. We just haven't discovered our hidden like spark.
You know how they say, girls, you know how they say,
Yeah,
the non-Jews or the Jews?
like just
The world.
Like the world is so low. Just
Oh, yeah,
the whole reality that's happening. I think it's honestly worse than Noah's time.
it was probably worse during Mitzrayim though, because they were doing really bad things then also.
To the Jews?
Everyone. Right?
Oh, around the world.
Like yeah, in Mitzrayim. But you know how they say, okay, we started class, you know how they say put away your food, your phones, your stuff, your distractions. You know how they say like if you want to welcome something new into your life, let's say for example, like a relationship, you need to make sure that you make space for this thing, and that means that sometimes you'll have to be lonely, and sometimes you won't have a who to lean on, and sometimes like you have to remove all these like, you know, half sort of situationships in your life in order to make room for a real person, right? Because what happens, like, if I am a little lonely and I have this person that's just like, it's not it, and it's not right, and it's not hitting all the spots, but like, it fits like what I need right now, someone to go watch a movie with, or someone to like talk to about something, or somebody to just distract me from myself or from my life. It fits, it makes sense. So I have that person on speed dial, and I can call them and they can fill that hole. So as long as I have these like half-baked things around my life, then I don't have to feel the edges of like my loneliness, and I don't have to feel, you know, my singlehood, or I don't have to feel, you know, the shaky of whatever of my stuff. I have someone to just like fill the holes, right? As long as we have these fillers, we won't really fill it with the right person, with the real relationship that's going to fill on all ends like what we really need, not just like that one thing that like that's a fun person to hang out with, so I'll have fun with him right now because that's all he has to offer me, or that's all that there is. But I'll really be able to have someone that's like going to fill in all the stuff. That's what I'm looking for. Oftentimes when a person is very, very comfortable, it doesn't mean that they're happy. It's just that they're comfortable. They don't feel the edges. They don't feel the poking and prodding of life. They don't feel like, ouch, I'm lonely. Ouch, I want a relationship. They don't feel those things because they've already cushioned their life with like other pillows that are there to not make them feel the pain of what they're carrying. So oftentimes Hashem will take these comfortable things out of our life, right? Or he's going to expect us to remove these comfortable things from our life, because it's only when a person has a certain level of discomfort, only when a person all of a sudden gets hurt by this relationship and says, yeah, it makes sense that it's not it, right? Only when then a person all of a sudden finds their inner strength, and all of a sudden they want to like bust out of their comfort zone. They want to meet new people. Yalla, I had enough of being in my comfort zone, of being in the same, right? And all of a sudden they do other things, or there's space that opens up inside of them. They're like, I want to fill it up with like new things. I want to come out of my comfort zone. I want to try new things. I want to meet new people. I want to come out of this reality that I've created for myself that's comfortable, that fits, but it's sort of like a little prison for me, like a golden little cage that I've created, right? In order to not meet my shame, or not meet my fears, or not meet my discomforts, or not meet the stuff that I'm trying to get and not feel and not get in touch with. I feel like it's very, very similar with regards to what's going on in the world today. Oftentimes the Jewish people, when were we the most, wow, when did our light shine? Whoa, what a light, what a bright light of the Jewish people. Like, think about it. Right after October 7th, okay, you guys weren't here, but right after October 7th, oh my, the people came out of the woodworks. People came out of the woodworks. You don't understand what was going on. The amount of chesed, the amount of love, the amount of light, the amount of caring, the amount of coming out of your comfort zone for people that you don't know. People housed people from the south, from the north in their houses, families they never met, non-religious, not Shomer Shabbos, with Haredim and like this, like a salad. It was like a salad what was going on here. No one saw colors, shapes, clothes. No one cared. It was the amount in Ramat Beit Shemesh, women that super Haredi, like you never saw that, like very like in their own little world, in their own little box. All of a sudden their house transformed to a restaurant where they were making like 2,000 sandwiches a day for Chayalim, like Subway sandwiches, and like people were sending like tons and tons of deli schnitzel to this one family, or not just one family. It was everywhere. It was head spinning. The amount of money that was sent in from America, the amount of suitcases that were sent in from America or all over the world, people just standing. Who was that man that was just standing in JFK and like, oh, you're going to fight in the army? I'm paying for your ticket. He just like swiped he was just buying everyone tickets when they got to the airport, because there was such an mobilization of Jews that were coming from all over the world, coming to Israel during the most insane war. Instead of running away from here, everyone was coming here. Everyone wanted to be here, right? You saw the Jewish light shine so bright. When do you see it? When we're not comfortable, when it's not cushy, when it's not plushy. When it's plushy, when it's cushy, when everyone has their own life, their own money, their own little world, right? So it turns off our light, it dims our light. That's what happens. That's what happens. So when Hashem all of a sudden pulls the rug under our feet and sends us a Mamdani, okay, to the second largest Jewish city in the world besides for Israel, we know that he's shaking the boat, he's making things uncomfortable, because that's the only way the Jewish light's going to shine. That's the only way the unity is going to shine. That's the only way something's going to start happening, that fire within us. When we're comfortable, even in your own life, think about it. You're comfortable in a relationship that you know is not 100% for you. You're comfortable in a small little job that basically covers your bills. You're comfortable. There's no movement. There's no real movement. It's only when, oh my God, I lost my job. Oh my God, I have to move out of my house. Oh my God, I need to quickly whatever. Oh yeah, all of a sudden something opens up. A space opens up. That's what Hashem is doing right now. He's opening up a space. He's opening up a space because the point is not to continue living this galus life. The point is to have a new era, a messianic era, a new world for us and for the non-Jews around the world. You think that the righteous Gentiles like what's going on in the world? You think they're not suffering? You think all these Christians that are being slaughtered in Uganda and all these places are happy? Are they don't want life and liberty and freedom? And that's what the Jewish people came to do. The Jewish people are the moral compass of this world. The Jewish people, we are the ones in the driver's seat. We are the chosen people, and they know that we're the chosen people, and we know that we're the chosen people. And it's not something that comes with this air of like snobism. It's something that means that if I was chosen to now drive this truck, I need to know how to drive the truck, get on top of it, and do what needs to be done to get done, to take the passengers or to take the cargo to where it needs to go. That's it. It's a very clear position. It's not like, oh my God, now I'm like better than everyone because I was chosen to drive this truck. No, you're not better. You just have a very clear job. The Jewish people's job is to save the world against evil. That's what we were sent here to do. And we were given the soul and the purpose, and we were given that neshama that no one else has in order to do that job. And so when we get sidetracked, and all of a sudden we get selfish, and we only think about my world, my life, my kids, my home, my life, whatever, that's where I'm at, that's not the only purpose of your life. That's part, and the rest of it is to bring out the light of the Jewish people. You sitting here like Popo said, like, how many hours did you say? 20 hours a day you're learning? 12 hours a day you're learning? 12 hours a day. You learning 12 hours a day Torah is basically you are putting gasoline into the Jewish engine. That's what you're doing, to light up the spark, to light up the energy that we have here. When we get comfortable, the energy gets... That's how it goes. Okay? And the whole thing with Mashiach coming, B'achishena, V'ito, what you were saying, like he's coming, if he's coming like this, that means that we're at the lowest level. The whole thing is like, either I get that I'm awesome, I get that I'm powerful, I get that, like, wow, I have a lot to bring to the table and I can save this entire freaking world. Or I'm like, in my, like, am I good enough? Do I have what to offer? Like, how do people see me? Like, maybe, either I'm there or I'm there. Either we get who we are and we're not like, oh my God, we're elitists because we're the Jewish people. It has nothing to do with that. Either I get who I am, the power that I was given, the ability to do what I was to do as a Jew, okay? And I had to shine my light, or I don't get it. Either you get that you have light and you have purpose and your self-esteem is on that same level as really who you are, or you have a low self-esteem. A low self-esteem means that Mashiach is going to come be'ito. Be'ito means at the deadline, because we don't know who we are, because we're apologetic for being Jewish, because, we have to assimilate, because we have to look like them, because it doesn't make sense that we stand out, that who do we think we are, that we're saying we're the chosen people. Either we're apologetic about our who we are, and we don't see our power and our might, and we don't learn enough history to see it throughout all of history, how when we were apologetic about our Judaism, our Jewishness, and what we're doing here in this world, and what our mission is, then they trampled us and gobbled us up. And when we throughout history, understood our power, stood in our light, like the Maccabees, like all the people that we come from, stood in their light and understood. I was given a purpose. Moshe Rabbeinu, like he understood with his lisp and his things and the way he grew up and being adopted and all of that. He understood. He had big enough shoulders to carry this mission. Period. It's not, I am so amazing. There's a mission. When I understand that it was given to me, just like in my personal life. In my personal life, when I understand that you understand about yourself, that you were given certain talents, certain an equipment, a suitcase of equipment to run and go do your thing, right? If you're going to be like, no, I don't know if I can, I don't know if I will, I don't know, then Mashiach comes the way he's coming right now. When the Jewish people stand in our light, when we stand in our light and we're proud of who we are, and we come to do tikkun olam, to really fix the world, and even though the world hates us, or half the world hates us, or there's an incredible amount of anti-Semitism, it says in the Torah, the only times that they will rise up against you with anti-Semitism is when you forget who you are. They're just they are just a little stick in God's hands that he's using to wake us up. Wake up. And when we are trying to kiss up to them, to the anti-Semites, and say, no, really we're good. Look, we bring medicine to the table, we bring technology to the table, we bring money to the table, we bring all these newfound ideas that the world never met, and we created those things, the things that you enjoy, like your phones and your microwaves and your cars. We made that for you. We were the first ones on the scene when there's a tsunami in Thailand, or we care. Who are you talking to? Who are you convincing? They don't have the eyes to see you or the ears to hear you, because they're just a stick. Hashem uses the non-Jews, the anti-Semites in the world, to wake up the Jewish fire. And when this Jewish fire wakes up either from understanding its worth and its mission here, or from getting hit over the head like we had on October 7th. Either or. That's be'ito v'achishena. Either you wake up to your power and your might and you realize that you're better than this, or you're going to suffer at the hands of this abusive relationship and be like an abused woman that keeps coming back to the same guy and hoping that he's not going to abuse her this time. That's it. Yeah, question.
How do you become aware of what the failures are in your life? Like, if it's not something so glaringly obvious.
The question is, how do you figure out? Say the question again.
How do you figure out what's like blocking you, what's giving you comfort instead of like pushing you?
Right. How do you find out? So it's usually, the question is, how do you find out what's giving you comfort in your life and you're holding on to sort of like a lifesaver, okay? And because it's giving you something that you want in your life. And in that thing, most of the time, what you're doing is also twisting yourself into a pretzel on some level, okay? In order to keep this thing in your life, to keep holding on to this thing in your life. Oftentimes, you notice it when it's coming from a place of usually there's like a injury, okay, an emotional injury somewhere, a need somewhere. Let's say, for example, a woman that never had a really good relationship with her mom, or she really needed more of a nurturing figure in her life, someone that really cares about her, someone that will go the extra mile for her, someone that will figure things out with her, like a mom, and didn't have that, or she was a parentified child, that she had to be that for her mom, she had to be the listening ear, she had to do all those things. Usually she will go out into the world subconsciously and look for people to play the motherly roles, and in those relationships she's going to, twist herself or let go of things or almost like shrink herself in order to receive that, in order to get that, right? And it could be the most powerful woman, it could be the most incredible woman, but she will shrink herself. So how do you know? Wherever you're shrinking yourself, wherever you're making excuses for the other person, wherever you're being treated in a way that for you is not matim, wherever you find yourself, running after, even if it's emotional running after, even if it's not you texting or whatever, but you're almost like this, okay, like this after the person, even inside, okay, or the experience, then it's coming from a wound, and it's not coming from a choice. It's coming from more of like a survival mechanism. Okay, and when you're holding on to things and people that are no longer serving you in a healthy way, where you feel healthy there. If you feel needy, if you feel like you're running after, if you feel like you can't live without, if you feel like it's like you have to shrink yourself or your needs, you can't expect certain things where in a normal relationship you would be able to. That's healthy. It's normal. You understand? Then when you're basically just holding on like a lifesaver because they're filling something, but you're also you're also allowing, you're giving more space than needs to be. All right, guys, we are moving on to Abdolach right now. This is like a life-changing course. It's called Crystal Eye. Yeah. We started working on it last week a little bit. Started talking about it. Okay, wait. How many pages do you have? Do you have stapled?
Yeah.
Yeah, Zahara, you have stapled?
These are
No?
stapled.
Oh, they are stapled, yeah.
I think you're missing
Right, these ones are stapled.
Oh, wait, I got 3.
You need to have 1, 2, and 3. Okay?
Oh.
It's in the back. 1, 2, and 3.
I only have breakthrough 2.
I have
one,
one.
number one, number one.
Number 1, number 2, number 3.
Here's one.
Here, sweetie, take this.
Oh, breakthrough 2, sorry.
It's breakthrough 2.
Lifestyle change, #1, #2,
Yes.
#3.
Oh, so I only have the 1.
Exactly.
Okay, wait, does anyone have the last one?
Here, take this.
How many are we meant to have?
No,
3.
No, one packet.
Oh, just the 1.
Oh,
Just one
okay.
staple packet. It's not hard.
Okay,
that's
awesome.
okay.
All right, here we go. Let's begin. Abdolach. Abdolach is... thank you. Abdolach is literally translates as crystal eye. Okay, you can take notes on the papers if you want. Crystal eye. Okay. We're going to start learning right away. We're going to start getting into it. It's a whole Torah. Okay, it's a whole learning. It's a whole teaching. This thing. It's about 16 weeks long, and it's life altering. Okay, it's based on the work of the Baal Shem. It's called Torah Tamarot. Torah Tamarot is the Torah of mirrors. Okay, it's basically it's the whole understanding, and it's a whole understanding. It's not just like nice things that you've heard in the past. It's a whole Torah on how everything in your life is a mirror of something that's going on inside of you. There's not going to be one person, one experience, one crossing of a street that is not specifically tailored for your soul's mission here. Okay? When you understand it from this level, your life changes. You see things in a very different way. You see life differently. Okay? This is my favorite thing to learn up until today. Like, it's my favorite. More than Tomer Devorah, more than Breakthrough, more than anything I've ever taught. Breakthrough 2, it's work. It's real work. It's real work. Okay, so here we go. We did breakthrough one last year. Manifesting energies. Okay, how to bring things into reality, the power of the vision, all that we did last year. Okay, now we go. Here we go. A lifestyle change. Number 1. A lifestyle change, not another technique in healing. A philosophy of life. Usually people try to change their external lives to feel better. Money, relationships, etc. Here we'll learn the opposite to be true. Focus on our internal world and our external lives change immediately. Once we learn this and apply this, life changes completely. Okay, here we go. Now, what happens with Adam? Let's begin. What happens with Adam? Adam sins. Then after Adam sins, that's where Hashem comes into the picture, and Hashem tries to have an interaction with him. This happens a lot of times when you have a relationship with people that haven't done the work that you have, and all of a sudden you're in a place where we could talk about things, and we can bring things up, and it can even be things that are hard to talk about, but we can put them on the table, and we can move forward from them. And if you've ever been in a relationship with an immature person, there is no way to bring things up because they hear everything as an attack. Everything as an attack. They can't hear you say about, when you rolled your eyes at me, and I was telling you something that was important to me that hurt my feelings. Yeah, how many times did you roll your eyes at me when I said things? That's an immature person where you can't really have real conversations and build and move forward. Okay? This is the first immature conversation that ever took place where a person is not ready to do the work. Hashem comes to Adam and he says like this. Now Hashem knows, okay, he built the system that way. Sheva yipol tzaddik v'kam. Every person that walks planet Earth has to fall at least 7 times. No one can be a righteous. There were only 4 people in the world that ever lived that never sinned. Ever, throughout time, ever. Okay? We're not meant to be here and not sin. We're meant to be here and sin. Because something happens when we fall that we can't reach spiritually without the fall and the getting up. We can't. You can't become really awesome and resilient if you haven't failed and been rejected and gone through things. Those are muscles that you can only reach when you fall, when you get rejected, when you fail. Like, you can't reach them any other way. So, Adam sins. Hashem knows that Adam was going to sin. That's cool. It's okay for you to make a mistake. I get it. We're in a relationship. People make mistakes. How you fix, that's everything. How you come to the table, that's everything. It doesn't matter that you made a mistake. How you show up after the mistake, that's everything. So Adam hides. That's already number 1. Okay? If you've ever been in a relationship with a man that after something happened, and then he hides from you, and then he doesn't call, doesn't write, doesn't take responsibility, feels embarrassed, feels ashamed, waits for you to hunt him down. Okay? That's what Adam did. Adam hid. Hashem looks for him. Okay, this is all metaphorical. Hashem looks for him and he says, Ayeka, where are you? Where are you gone? You like Elvis left the building kind of thing? Like, where have you gone? Okay, you're hiding. Okay, it's much deeper than just like physically, where are you? Hashem knows exactly where he is in the garden. He's like, where are you? Where are you? Ayeka. And what does Adam say? What does he say? He says to him, it's because of the woman that you've given me that I have sinned. That I ate from the tree of knowledge. Listen, God, it's the same in these conversations. It's like, it's because you, it's because you say things a certain way that I left the house, or that I don't answer any of your text messages, or that whatever. Because of, what you've done, that now I get to do what I do. Okay, that's a person that's not willing to take responsibility. I don't act a certain way. I don't fall below a certain level because I don't go there. You can do what you want. You could be a full-on circus on wheels. I don't now get to respond because you triggered me. However, whatever comes to mind, cursing, screaming, stabbing, whatever, because now you triggered me. There's a certain level that I don't fall below. Okay? So Hashem says to him, where are you gone? And he says, the woman that you've given me, he's blaming Hashem, is the reason that I have sinned. Okay? So what does Hashem say to him? So what does Hashem say? Hashem goes to Chava. And what does Hashem say to Chava? What did Chava say to Hashem? Chava says to Hashem what?
It was a snake.
It was a snake. He says, where are you? And she says, the snake that you created, that one is the reason that I sinned. Meaning everyone's clean. No one got their hands dirty. No one got their hands dirty. Yeah, I ate it. Fine. But it was because you set me up for failure. If you wouldn't have set me up for failure, Mom, I would be much better off today. Dad, if you would have given me, loved me, helped me, gotten your life together, gotten your stuff together, if you would have gone to therapy, if you would have figured your lives out with each other, I wouldn't be in this position. Family. It's very, very human. Yeah.
To what extent is it important to like put blame where blame is due and like understand the situation? Like take a step back and be like, no, that was messed up, that shouldn't have happened to me. Yet now I'm gonna do something about it. But like, because I always say that I think it's really important to like have a time where you're sitting there and you are blaming the other person. Not that you're not gonna do anything about it, but like face facts. Or like how are you supposed to move on, heal, forgive? Like you need it. Do you disagree?
I used to agree with you very, 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 very much. Till the last year. I've been like heavy on in the world of healing since Corona. So it's 5 years. And I used to be very much in this mindset of like, you know, someone hurt you, like call a spade a spade. Who hurt you, what they did to you, how that impacted you, all of those things. What I'm realizing today is that we have a little girl inside, and she's really little. She's really little. And like, if you tell the little girl you were hurt, someone abused you, even though that's true, if you keep telling it to her, and that person did it, because that person is in all the curses in the book. Okay, and you do it in a healthy way, because they say it's healthy to do that, okay? She's little. All she will feel, just like you take a little child today, you tell him, you were hurt, you were abused, that rabbi did that to you, that school put you in cherem. Those kids, they're the ones that laughed at you and spat at you when you fell down to the ground. When you do that to the little girl, she feels the effects of that. She feels like, I was used, I was abused, I was hurt, I was cursed. And what happens when a person feels that? Just the events that happened. When you tell that over and over to them, this was the one to blame, and that's what they did to you, and it's because of them that you're suffering, okay, that she feels like a victim. Because you're telling her over and over again, you are the victim, because you were the victim. Now, she gets to be, if you had a child, and your child, God forbid, gets abused, God forbid, by anyone, you don't want to make them feel like the victim, because they will continue getting abused. Because a victim is a victim. Abusers smell victims from miles away. Okay? You want to imbue in that child strength, resilience. You want to imbue in that child that those people are the people that are broken. Those people are the people that are the ones that are looking to harm and hurt and make people feel small so they can feel bigger. Right? You don't want to make the child feel like they're this helpless person in the world and like anyone can hurt them at all times, at any given time. And they're weak. You want to strengthen them. Okay? Oftentimes, I've been in relationships with friends and people throughout my life that were very, very honest, and I've dumped those people. Because they've come to me with like, you need to work on this, and you're amazing. First of all, you're amazing, Devorah, but you really need to work on this and this and this and this and this. And if you work on this and this and this and this, and you'll do better. Best friends, people that I was very, very close to, and I thought that was like we're growing together. We're like whatever. But then I found that I came out of these relationships with like a very broken spirit, where I felt like I was okay, but like I had so many things to work on, and I was so messed up in so many ways. And like, no matter how much I'm working, it's not enough because I'm really not good yet in this and this and this and this. Okay? And then I've had friends that only saw the good in me. Saw the good. Saw the most amazing. Saw the most amazing light. Saw the most amazing girl. It's okay. You make mistakes. It's all good. We all make mistakes. It's fine. Didn't make the biggest deal out of my mistakes. Didn't shine a projector on my mistakes. Didn't make it who I was because I did this or that or said this or said that and I was stupid or whatever. I wasn't right about certain things. And they just saw the good. When you see the good in yourself, when you make your inner child the queen, when you put a crown on her head, when you say you've gone through so much and you're still so awesomely incredible, and then you put the focus on all the good things that she does, all the people that she cares for, all the chesed that she does, all the right decisions that she makes for herself, for other people, You put the focus on that no matter what she went through. And that also made her strong. And that also, look, even more so, you've gone through, like so many dark things, moments in your life, and you're still so awesome and you show up every single day. Wow. So many people broke because of that. So many people committed suicide because of the things that you went through. And look at you today. It doesn't need to be a blame game. You have to shift the focus inside.
What if it's not just they're messed up for doing that? Like, it happened. The results are there, so either you could like ignore it or like, okay, obviously there's more options, but like, what is wrong with saying like, okay, this happened, but that 100%. Was their unhealthiness. Like, you are strong and it's not gonna happen again, and like there could be positive there. Like,
for sure, you don't have to. There's a difference between harping on it and everyone's to blame and who's to blame and like, this happened to me, they did this to me, I went through this. Okay. There's a difference between that and I recognize that I was hurt. I recognize that it scarred me and that it hurt me. I recognize that I have to take care of myself, okay? And then I have to be kind to myself. And then I have to cherish myself and I have to undo the damage in some level. Or even if I can't ever undo that damage, I will never treat myself that way or let anyone treat me that way again. Like that. And then I will treat myself in kind and favor, with grace. That's where the focus needs to be. If the focus is always on the fact that you were hurt and that you were victimized and someone else took away your innocence or someone else came into your life and damaged you, if that's where you're going to put the focus, that you're always going to feel like the victim there, on some level.
On some level you are.
No, you're not. By the fact that another person was evil and they came into your life and they stole things from you and they hurt you, that's on them.
It's on them, 1,000%.
It's on them.
But it did affect you.
It affected you, 100% it affected you.
And that's what creates a victim.
No, it doesn't have to create a victim.
There's a
It's like
victim.
what Rabbi Locke
Doesn't have
said,
to make a
you can
victim.
change the meaning.
You could change the meaning, but technically, let's say
so
someone
the change of the meaning should
No.
be that this is a them problem.
it's a them
Yeah.
problem, but it still happens. And it's still,
But you don't have to be the victim.
If God forbid, someone hurt your child,
yeah.
and you had your child now walking in his head or her
I'm
head
not saying,
with like this feeling of like, I was victimized.
but he was wrong. Let's say your child, right? He was wrong.
100% he was wrong.
Okay.
It
If
wasn't
someone
okay.
comes
I'll
to
give
your
you an
child-
example. Yesterday my son came home, my almost 15-year-old child. He's big, he's good, he's strong, okay? Came home yesterday. There's a few guys in his school that are problem, okay? And he was playing on the court with a few friends, and they all come and they all like, we're playing now. And he's like, you're not playing. We're in the middle of a game. And they're like, we're playing now. And then what happened was that there was like a thing behind him. He didn't see it, and obviously he tripped over with this whole interaction that went on with these guys. He tripped over them on his knees. Both his knees started bleeding. And when he was down, he started crying because it was painful. It burned him. And each one of them walked by him and spit on him and said to him, you deserve that. Okay? Oh, cry baby. Oh, cry baby. You're going to cry, and spit on him. And then he comes home. He comes home and tells me this story yesterday.
So this happened to your son?
My son. First of all, he didn't want to say the story. I heard from my younger son that something happened that he was... So he didn't want to say. He's like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, what guy? I don't want to be that guy. The guy, they're getting messages already that if you're a guy, you can't show your feelings, you can't show weakness, you can't experience anything like that. Okay? So I said to him, I basically got it out of him, and he told me what happened. And even while he was telling me what happened, he was like, he's like, strong. Okay? So what I said, I feel so bad that that experience happened to you, that you were on the ground like that, and they spit on you, and they walked by you. That's like, I'm so sorry you went through that, mommy. I'm so sorry. And I hugged him. I'm so sorry. My gosh. And then he said, and I'm going to go to school today and I'm going to kill them. Okay? And so he said, I gave them this like look, and this kid in the class said, your look, it looks like a psycho killer. Like that, something like that. And he was like, good, I want this look. And I said to him, listen to me, boy. Listen to me, child. Any person that thinks in his brain that it makes sense for him in the moment when he sees someone falling and bleeding to walk by him and then spit on him and curse him is not worth your anger, is not worth your stress, is not worth your trying to get someone, kill someone, get someone, make them. It's not worth you to fall down to that level. Because you would never walk by someone that trips and falls and bleeds and then not only not help them and spit on them and curse them. You would never, that would never occur. It would never cross the highway paths of your brain. Ever. Right? And he's like, yeah, I would never do that. Ever. So if they're already on that level, if those are the kind of people that's how they think to interact in that moment, you're so much higher, you're so much better, you're so much stronger, you're so much more quality than these people. Don't waste your spit, don't waste your anger, don't waste your stress. Most you could do is walk by them and roll your eyes, or I don't know, give them a smirk. That's the most that should come out of you. And now if I were like, oh, you were victimized, they did that to you, and they spit on you like the Goyim spit on Jews. No. לא צריך.
Victim is the first one. It's like, it's saying, oh, it happened to you, and you were wronged. And that's saying that you were the victim. You were
so wronged. You know, when he was younger, I would walk into, I don't know if I should say this on video, but my sons were scared that I was going to get, like taken away by the cops.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know how many times I fought his fights? Do you know how many times I took kids and I slammed them against the wall and I said, if you ever touch my son again, I will break your face? You know how many times that happened? But he never learned to do that on his own because I got in there and I was so... And today, I'm like teaching him how to acknowledge the fact that that's a really sucky thing that you went through. Really, really, really not cool. But remember who's the victim really. Remember who's the guy that's really down there. Remember who's the Nebuch really. You're not the Nebuch. They're the Nebuch if that's how they can act.
A victim doesn't mean you're a Nebuch. It just means that acknowledging that something bad happened to you. So I don't have it's not like, oh, it's going to shake the...
Something bad happens to you doesn't mean that you're a victim.
No, but someone did something bad to you. It's just like in in a court term. There's a victim and there's someone who...
Nachon, the abusing, right.
The abusing,
right.
It's not so deep. It's not that your life's ruined. It's just that acknowledging that it happened.
Right. No, 100% acknowledge that it happened. I gave space. We hugged. I was so sorry. I looked at his knees. I was like, ouch, I'm so sorry, Mama, that, and then giving him that sense of like...
Okay, so you're still doing it, you're just adding on something else.
Yeah, you're not letting him simmer in the
fine.
wow, that happened to you, and they did that to you, and horrible people, and Nebuch, and how could they, and I'm going to talk to their mom. No more of that. No more of that. I am not going to walk around this world forcing other people to take accountability for their actions. I'm going to separate myself from people that don't take accountability for their actions. People that don't know how to say, I was wrong, I spoke to you not nicely, I hurt you, I injured you, you don't deserve that, I was wrong, I'm really, really sorry, and they keep harping on what you did to them. When you ask for forgiveness, or when you are ready to come to the table, or it's not a partnership, then people will make mistakes with you. Relationships, there will be mistakes. Your husband will make mistakes with you. But it doesn't mean now we run away from the relationship. We run away from the relationship when there's no one to work with. When the person is just pointing a finger at you. When there's no responsibility taken. Like Adam and Chava. Why were they let out of the Garden of Eden? Because the Garden of Eden cannot hold people that do not know how to also look at themselves.
So it ain't just a separation. Like how people before they get divorced or get back together, they separate. So we're with Hashem separated, and then there's times where we're coming back to live together.
Mamash. That's Shir Shirim. That's the whole Shir Shirim. The princess went into the queen went into the streets. The queen is the Jewish people, and now she found herself with all the people on the street, and she thinks she's one of the people on the street, and the king is just waiting for her to come home to him because he loves her so much. It's just a matter of us waking up to our strength and our beauty, and us not feeling like victims anymore. We've gone through 2,000 years of being victimized in the world. The Jewish people feel like victims. Okay? Only when we stop feeling like this victim, okay, will we stop being treated like victims. And will the anti-Semites measure their words and careful with what they do. When we are constantly apologetic for who we are, and apologetic for what we look like, and apologetic for being the chosen people, then we are going to continue being slammed over the head. Okay? You could be a victim and say, yeah, the Christians killed us, and the Greeks killed us, and the Egyptians killed us, and they all killed us, and that's what they came after us to do? But that's not my definition of myself. I am not, by definition, a victim of all these people's insanities. I'm not a victim of that. I've gone through that, yes. I have the scars to show it, yes. That just made me stronger, more resilient, have better self-esteem, know my worth more, and what I will never take from another person again in my life. That's what it's supposed to teach me. Not to lick my wounds and to wallow in my suffering and pain. Yeah? Cool? Is class over? What time is it?
We don't care.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Oh, it's 11:11, guys. I love you. We have 4 more minutes. So let's just continue here for a second. 4 minutes with Torah is a lot of time. Okay? Okay. Responsibility equals the ability to create the right response. Okay? To take the right response. Okay? Now, if she would take responsibility for her actions, she would have been forgiven. No birth pains. Wasn't appropriate for people that react with excuses to live in a place like on Eden. There are people that spend their whole lives blaming others, even if they're right. We're not asked to explain, give reasons for our actions. We're asked to take responsibility for our actions. That's what we're asked to become. Takers of our responses, not blamers of our situations. Do you understand the difference, Popo? The whole blame game thing, forget that, scratch that. Forget the blaming thing. As long as you're blaming, even if you're right, my teacher hurt me, my parents hurt me, this happened to me. As long as you're blaming, you are acting, you are continuously reinforcing the fact that you are a victim. Okay? When you don't play the blame game, there's no blaming. They did what they did, they're going to pay for what they did. They didn't take responsibility. They didn't ask for forgiveness. They didn't come and clean up the mess that they created. That's between them and the Creator. I'm only going to get stronger from my experience. I'm only going to get stronger from what I went through. I'm only going to get wiser from what I went through. I only have more life experience under my belt because of what I've gone through. It doesn't mean that you can't go to therapy and can't go to either cognitive therapy, EMDR, somatic therapy, breathing therapy, all the therapies that are available today, and heal the part of you that was wounded. But it doesn't become your entire sense of self. And it doesn't become, the part of you that's broken. It's not broken. Just add it as a badge. It's a badge. Responsibility is the ability to have the right response to life's interactions with us. Not expected to get it all right. Expected to have better responses to our life's situations. If a mistake was done, no excuses, no blame. Create the correct response. My job is to admit to my actions and fix. That's how Hashem wants us to interact with our lives. Okay? The point is that you can both be people in a relationship. Okay? He did something wrong. You did something wrong. You started talking in a not nice way. You blamed. You attacked. You were wrong. His reaction, or the way he acted before that, or the way he continued to talk to you after that, was wrong. You can take responsibility for the part that's yours. Not for the whole picture. He needs to take responsibility for his part. And if he doesn't take responsibility for his part, and it's only you, then something's off here. I was wrong for being attacking. I was wrong for using those words because those words automatically put people on defense. You're right. I was wrong about that. But it doesn't mean that he wasn't wrong about a few other things that he did or said or acted that he needs to take responsibility for right now. It's not you did something wrong. I know I reacted from an attacking place, but because you hurt me, that's blaming. I did something wrong because you hurt me. That's blaming. I don't want to drop below a certain level. Okay? I don't want to drop it no matter what you do. I don't care what you do. I'm not going to curse. I'm not going to yell and scream. I'm not going to fall under my level. You want to talk this way? You want to harp on things this way? You want to only blame me and take zero responsibility for your words, for your actions? That's on you. You take responsibility for the parts where you were wrong, where you made a mistake. It doesn't mean that now they don't have to fix their part and that you have to be all forgiving because you made a mistake. You understand the difference? You understand how this works? People get very I did something wrong, he did something wrong, we just continue defending ourselves. Everyone's defending themselves. As long as the other person that you're in a relationship with is continuously defending themselves, while you've put your defenses down, while your white flag is up, while you're saying, you're right, I approached this wrong. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said it that way. I was feeling fearful. I was feeling vulnerable. I was feeling nervous. That's why I came from that angle. You're right. I was wrong. And they're still, because you talked to me that way, that's why, da-da-da-da. And because you acted this way, da-da-da-da. And because they're still this, okay? Then there's no one really to work with here. Conversation's over. When two people are able to say, I was wrong, I take responsibility for this, I was wrong, I take responsibility for this, I want to see you better, I want to work with you better, I want to know how to make you feel better when you get into this position, when you get into this trigger, I want to work with you better. I see that when you have a trigger, I get defensive, so I see now after this conversation that you're just feeling vulnerable or scared and that's why you're acting this way. I want to be better next time, I want to show up better. That's already a person that you can have a relationship with. Guys, have a great day. You're welcome.